In 1981, during the brutal El Salvador Civil War, FMLN rebels discover the horrific aftermath of a government massacre. The Atlacatl Battalion, an elite government unit, executes a ruthless, scorched earth policy, slaughtering entire villages indiscriminately. Context: El Salvador's wealth is monopolized by a tiny elite, leaving the peasant majority in crushing poverty while a military junta rules. Left-wing rebel groups join forces under the FMLN banner to overthrow the oppressive regime, which is heavily backed by the United States. El Mozote village, a strategic transit point for rebels, is targeted by the military to break the resistance's supply lines. Rebel leaders Aurelio and his former wife, Alma, operate a clandestine radio station, Venceremos, warning villages of incoming army units. Colonel Montenegro leads his troops into El Mozote, forcing the terrified villagers into the local church to await their fate. The soldiers drag women into the woods for systematic abuse. A young boy named Jose manages to escape the church with his sister. Jose's mother attempts to fight back, but she is gunned down. Jose hides in a narrow hole, narrowly evading the military's notice. Soldiers massacre every villager trapped in the church, including children, then burn the building to hide the evidence. Rebel fighters arrive too late to save the villagers, finding only a traumatized Jose sobbing over the bodies of his family. The rebels take Jose back to their camp, while Colonel Montenegro hunts for the radio station to stop their influence. Aurelio plans to contact New York Times journalists, hoping international exposure will cut the flow of US aid to the regime. Alma comforts Jose, sharing her own grief. She joined the resistance after her own child was killed by military fire. Rebels meet American journalists Randall and Sarah, providing them with photographic evidence of the atrocities committed at El Mozote. Randall refuses to publish without on-the-ground proof and a survivor. They decide to return to the site with the rebels. The journalists document the radio station's broadcast while navigating the treacherous, war-torn landscape toward the massacre site. Montenegro's troops shadow the group, waiting to ambush them and seize the equipment used for the Venceremos broadcasts. A surprise ambush forces the group to flee, resulting in the journalists and rebels parting ways to seek safety. The military tightens the noose, patrolling all known escape routes and trapping the rebels in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Alma and Jose protect wounded comrades near a riverbank, but during the confusion, Jose goes missing in the dense forest. The rebels regroup, discovering they lost the radio transmitter, which forces them into an even more desperate position. Alma kills a lone soldier, only to find Jose has reappeared, miraculously carrying the vital transmitter gear he saved. Montenegro realizes the rebels are close, surrounding the area with a massive force to finally crush the radio's voice. Montenegro finds the defector Jacob, who holds a live grenade, sacrificing himself to take out the colonel's command group. The rebels retreat into a hidden tunnel system, but Alma is struck by enemy fire, slowing the group's desperate escape. Alma orders the others into the tunnel while she stands her ground, sacrificing herself to block the entrance from soldiers. Montenegro blows up the tunnel, killing Alma, but Jose miraculously survives the collapse and reunites with the survivors. Montenegro is reprimanded by military superiors for failing to stop the damaging news reports that have now gone international. Aurelio hatches a plan to use the radio as a trap, equipping a transmitter with explosives to strike back at Montenegro. Because their remote detonator is low range, they must lure the colonel's helicopter to a specific location near their hiding spot. Sebastian exposes their radio frequency to lead the military directly to them, abandoning their equipment to draw Montenegro in. The trap fails because the helicopter remains out of range. They resolve to infiltrate the military base itself. Jose volunteers to infiltrate the heavily guarded base, posing as a shoeshine boy to get close to the colonel. Inside the base, Jose spots Montenegro near the radio gear and narrowly avoids a suspicious soldier while working. He gets the shoeshine money and retreats to the woods, where he successfully sets up the remote detonator. Aurelio and Jose race to intercept Montenegro's flight, hoping to catch the colonel in the blast radius of their trap. Jose triggers the explosives, successfully destroying the helicopter and avenging his mother's brutal murder. After the revenge, Jose decides to leave the rebel group, refusing to continue living a life fueled by hatred. He tells Aurelio that both sides are identical, men in uniforms killing for causes that only bring suffering to villagers. The journalists face severe career consequences, taking a decade to prove the accuracy of their reporting on the massacre. In 1993, the UN releases a report confirming over 1,000 deaths at El Mozote, more than half of whom were children. Amnesty laws initially protect the perpetrators, but the Supreme Court eventually overturns them, leading to delayed investigations. Years later, Aurelio and the survivors return to the massacre site, finding a haunting, beautiful sight in the darkness. Thousands of fireflies illuminate the mass grave, symbolizing the souls of the children who were never forgotten. The fireflies become a beacon of hope in the wake of the darkest tragedy in El Salvador's modern history. This story stands as a testament to the thousands of lives lost and the courage required to tell the truth. And that is Fireflies in El Mozote. If you loved this